Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with a new chapter, which is direct and inverse variation. It's an application of unitary method only, but let's see what it is. Now you have already studied in physics also that what is direct variation and what is inverse variation. Like we can say, can you give me some example of direct variation, something which varies directly means when one quantity increases, the other also increases. Like you can say if you go to buy number x, yes, if one egg costs ₹5, then more the number of eggs, more will be its cost. Yes, this type of variation is known as direct variation. When more eggs, more the cost, less eggs, less the cost. Yes, both the arrows go in the same direction. Either both are going in upward direction, one increases, the other also increases, or one decreases, the other. If two quantities are said to be x and y are said to be directly proportional or they are in direct variation, when we can say that x upon y is a constant. Yes, their quotient x divided by y is always a constant. Yes, you can take some more examples of this, like more work is to be done. Yes, more work, more the work, more the time we will take. If I get more sums to do in maths, yes, then I will take more time to do those sums. So less the work, less the time that I will take. So these type of variations are direct variations. The another type of variation is known as inverse variation. Yes, inverse variation means the one increases, one goes up, the other comes down, and vice versa. Or the first one decreases, the other one increases. Now see, you must have studied in physics density. What is density is equal to? Density is equal to mass upon volume. So density is, we can say density is equal to mass divided by volume. Now more the volume, if the mass is a constant, yes, more the volume, less will be the density. Yes, if the density is more, less is the volume. Clear? So more heavier the object is, yes, you can see the denser the object is, yes, less is its volume. Yes, you can see 1 kg of rice and 1 kg of puffed rice. Yes, that you have seen 1 kg of rice is denser than 1 kg of puffed rice. But the volume of more denser thing, the volume, the denser the object is, the more the density, less the volume. Like rice is denser, so its volume, 1 kg of rice will fill in a small packet. Yes, whereas when we take 1 kg of puffed rice, then you need a big packet. Though the mass is same, both are 1 kg, but lighter the object or the less denser the object, more is the volume. So they are inversely proportional and this remains constant. So what can we say? That x into y, the product of the two quantities, will always be a constant if they are vary inversely, and the quotient of the two quantities will always be constant when the quantities vary directly. Yes, I hope you've understood the meaning of direct variation and inverse variation. One more example of inverse variation. Suppose I want to get my house constructed. Now what do I, if I want to get, I have thought, okay, I'll appoint 10 laborers and the work will be done in a month. Yeah, but due to some urgency, I need to complete my work earlier, faster. Yes, then what will I do? I have to appoint, if I want the work to become, work is same. Yes, the work is to build a house. If that I have decided, okay, 10 laborers will do it in 1 month. Yes, but if I want to get it done in less number of days, I need to appoint more the laborers. More laborers are to be appointed if the work has to be done in less number of days. Yes, so more the laborers, less the days they take to do the same work. Yes, and less the laborers, if the laborers go on Holi or something, on some festival, if some laborers go, then the work will take more time to be completed. Yes, but the work is same. Clear? So work and time are always in inverse variation. More the work, less the days. Less the work, more the days. Okay. Now coming to exercise 9.1. Question number 2, first part. A table is given here and there are some blanks which I have filled as A, B, C, D because I need to fill up these blanks. So I have taken some variables A, B, C and D. And it says that complete the table if X and Y are in direct variation. When they are in direct variation, X and Y are in direct variation, their quotient is a constant, X upon Y. Now see, X and Y is this. So 3 is X, 5, Y is 45. The X upon Y is 3 by 45, which is 1 by 15. That means for all these values of X upon Y and the corresponding value of Y, 5 upon A will also be 1 by 15, B upon 90 will also be 1 by 15, C upon 120 is also 1 by 15 and D upon 10 upon D is also 1 by 15. Now see if here, I know that this is a constant X upon Y whose value is coming as 1 by 15. First I am substituting 5 upon A. Yes, A is what is unknown, we have to find this. So now cross multiply, A is equal to 15 into 5 which is 75. Similarly B upon 90 will also be equal to 1 by 15 because they vary directly. Yes, now cross multiply, 15 into B is equal to 90 into 1, so B is equal to 90 divided by 15 which is 6. Similarly you can do for C also. C upon 120, C upon 120 is also equal to 1 by 15. 15 8s are 120, so C becomes equal to 8. Similarly for D, 10 upon D is equal to 1 by 15, so you get D as 15 into 10, that is 150. Okay. Now the next question, I'll teach you the arrow method, which is the easiest method in unitary method. Okay, I'll be dealing with direct variation today, only sums related to direct variation, and in the next class we'll take inverse variation. Inverse variation is also known as indirect variation. Now let us take this. The question in your book is, if $175, please note down this, all these notes have to be copied, these sums which I am doing are to be done in you have to do them in your fair notebooks. I'll send the notes to. Okay, let us take this. If $175 cost rupees 7,350, how many dollars can be purchased in rupees 24,024? Yes, that's it. Now what we will do, I'll teach you the arrow method. Dollars, write this, dollars, and the other column is rupees. How many dollars? 175, cost of $175 is rupees 7350, 7350. So how many dollars can be purchased for rupees 24,024? Now whatever is unknown, we'll put it as X. Okay, whatever we have to find how many dollars can be purchased for rupees 24,024. Okay, now just pay attention. What type of variation? First, when the sum is there, you should find out what type of variation it is. Yes, if it is direct variation, please student, first arrow always put the first arrow towards X. Yes, now first arrow I am putting towards X. If it is in direct variation, you just don't see that if it is increasing or decreasing. The direct variation means both arrows in the same direction. Inverse variation means one arrow down, the other arrow goes up. So this arrow we will, X wala jo arrow hai, this arrow we will always take towards X, point towards X, arrowhead points towards X. Since they are in direct variation, so we put both the arrows in one direction. Okay? Don't get confused whether it is increasing or decreasing. That doesn't make a difference that the arrows should go up only. No. They should be in the same direction, whether they are both in the upward direction or both in the downward. So make sure that you do it this way. Now how to write head upon tail is equal to head upon tail. Where is the head pointing? X. And where is the tail pointing in this case? 175. Where is the head point? pointing here is equal to, head is towards 24024 upon, where's the tail? 7350. Clear? We write it like this. Head upon tail is equal to head upon tail. Now once you have written it like this, now what we will do is, we will solve this. Now you may cross multiply and solve, or x divided by this is equal to this. So you can straight away write what? X is equal to 24024 upon 7350 into 175. Clear? And whatever you get the answer as $572 can be purchased for rupees 24,024. I hope this is clear. The method is clear. Yes, what you will do is, you will make two columns. No need of any statement. Only the last statement you can write in the answer statement, that these many dollars can be bought for rupees 24,024. There is no need for any statement. So this is the best method. When it is direct variation, both arrows go in same direction. Head upon tail is equal to head upon tail. Head towards this. Now you can see that this x, this is x and this is y. This is x and this is y. You can either do it 175 upon 7350 is equal to x upon this. Okay, that is also okay, correct. You can also take that x, let this is one variable, this is x, one quantity, and this is another quantity which is y. And when they are in direct variation, we know that they are in direct variation. When they are in direct variation, x divided by y is a constant. So you can write 175 upon 7350 is equal to x upon 224,024. That is also correct, but learn this arrow method, this is more convenient. Okay? Yes. Next sum we'll take, in a model of a ship. Yes, that is question number 8. Yes, try to do this. In a model of a ship, yes, the mast, that is flagstaff, is 6 centimeter high, while the mast of the actual ship is 9 meters high. If the length of the ship is 33 meters, how long is the model of the ship? See children, you have seen models. You must have seen models. So what models are made on some scale? Yes, the actual, suppose if I make a model of Taj Mahal. Yes, the actual Taj Mahal is so huge, and when we try to make a model, we take a particular scale for that. Similar is the case in maps also. We take a scale in maps. Yes, we take a scale in maps. Such huge area cannot be represented on a piece of paper. So what do? We take that 1 centimeter on the map is representing 50,000 centimeters on the land. Yes, actual land, 50,000 centimeters length is being represented by a small 1 centimeter. Same is this type of a question is same. Now it says model is length flagstaff on the ship. Yes, there is a flagstaff. Yes, it is 6 centimeters high. So we will take two columns. Question number 8. Model, and the length of the model will be of course in centimeters, and whereas the actual dimensions will be in meters. Actual dimensions are just written actual length because length or height, whatever it is. Yeah. Actual dimensions are in meters. Now the flagstaff in a model is 6 centimeters high, while the mast of the actual ship is 9 meters. Actually it was 9 meters is being represented by 6 centimeter on the model. Now it is saying if the length of the ship is 33 meters. Now the actual length of the ship is 33 meters. So it comes here. Yes, what is its length on the model? Getting it? This was the actual length of the flagstaff. Yes, in meters, and it was represented by 6 centimeter on the model. So how will you represent 33 meters by x? Yeah. So it is, more the length, more the actual length, more will be the length on the model. Yes, so they are direct variation. So this arrow goes down, this arrow will also go down. Now x upon tail. Always remember, head upon tail, it becomes very convenient to do it this way. Is equal to head is 33 upon tail is 9. Clear? So x is 33, x is equal to, now x divided 6 will go there as multiplication, is equal to 33 upon 9 into 6. 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9, 3 1s are 3 11s are, that is x is 22 centimeters. That means the length of the ship on the model is 22 centimeters. Clear? I hope you are getting it, children. Now, next question that I am going to take is something different, which is on 5 men. Question number 12, if you see in your books, children. If you see question number 12, I will read out the question for you. If 5 men or 7 women can earn rupees 525 per day, what do you mean by this statement? Can you tell me what do you mean by this? 5 men or 7 women earn rupees 525 per day. 5 men or 7 women. So whatever work 5 men are doing, yes, is equal to the, or whatever salary 5 men are getting is equal to the salary of 7 women. That means the women are being paid less, or they can do less amount of work, labor, yes, less amount of work, or they are being paid less. Yes, so 5 men is equal to 7 women. Work of, let's say, work of 5 men is equal to, question number 12 again I am saying, 5 men or 7 women can earn rupees 525 per day. How much would 10 men and 13 women? 10 men, there once in the first statement it says or, in the second statement it says and. That means you have to convert it into one. Clear? Either men's work or women's work. So please pay attention. This is a different type of sum for you. So when we write work of or earning of 5 men is equal to, because we are paid according to our work. Yes, work of 7 women. 7 women. So work of 1 man will be equal to, work of how many women? 1 man's work is equal to 7 upon 5 women's work. Yes. Here work of 7 by 5 women. You can say work of 1 man will be equal to, 1 man is equivalent to 7 by 5 women. Now it is saying how much would 10 men and 13 women. Not 10 men, so work of 10 men will be equal to 7 by 5 into 10, that is equal to 14 women. I hope you are getting, we are converting man's work to women's work. Yes, so 10 men is equal to 14 women. And it is saying 10 men and 13 women. 10 men and 13 women is equal to, 10 men is equal to 14 women plus 13 women, that is equal to, you can say, 27 women. Okay, we have converted it in one variable. Man or woman was there when this type of goat or sheep is there. Such questions are also there in your book. When such questions are there, try to use this. Yes, convert them to one variable, one form, like either man to woman or women to men. Clear? Then there will be no problem. So what we have done here, we have converted man's work to, we have compared their work to, that means 10 men is equal to 14 women. The salary of 10 men is equal to salary of 14 women, or the work done by 10 men is equal to work done by 14 women. Now total now women. Now what we have to find? How much would if 7 women earn rupees 525 per day, 7 women earn rupees 525 per day, how much would 27 women earn? Now there are 27 women. 7 women, now we'll make 2 columns, women and their earnings. Earnings will be in rupees. Yes. So 7 women earn how much? Rupees 525. Yes, earning and work are directly proportional because more the work, earning is according to the work. 7 women earn rupees 525. So 27 women will earn how much per day? Yeah, that is X. 27 women will earn how much? So this is direct variation. Again this goes down, this goes down. So X upon head upon tail is equal to head upon tail. X upon 525 is equal to 27 upon 7. So X is equal to 27 upon 7 into 525. If you cancel, 7 sevens are 49, 7 fives are 35. So 75 into 27, that gives you rupees 2025, rupees 2025 per day. So these many women earn rupees, 10 men and 13 women earn rupees 2025 per day. Again, I am just repeating this. 5 men or 7 women earn rupees 525. 5 men are earning 525 in a day, or 7 women are earning rupees 525 in a day. So we can say that 5 men is equal to 7 salary or earnings or work, whatever you can say. 5 men is equal to earning of 7 women. Yes. So earning of 1 man will be equal to earning of 7 by 5 women. So when they are asking you how much would 10 men and 13 women earn, so 10 men will be equal to 7 by 5 into 10. Yes, this you have already studied in your lower classes, which is 14 women. Now 10 men and 13 women. 10 men are already equal to 14 women. So 14 plus 13. That gives you 27 women. Now 7 women earn rupees this much in a day. So 27 women will earn how much in a day? So that is always direct variation. More the earnings, more the people, more the earnings. Yes. So this week just arrowhead goes down. So head upon tail, X upon 525 is equal to head upon tail. Yes, that is 27 upon 7. So X is equal to this 525 goes there as multiplication. When you cancel, you get that 10 men and 13 women. That is 27 women will earn rupees 2025.